Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Keith Woetzel, who is a linebacker who recently transferred to Buffalo from Lehigh. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Keith, you actually had a very incredible career there at Lehigh. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it? Tell me about your overall career
Yeah. So I came in as a freshman, and guys just trying to prove himself, but didn't end up happening my freshman year. I kind of came in with a pulled hamstring, and I kind of just sat and learned behind guys my freshman year, and probably in the off season my freshman year, I kind of just put my head down and started grinding, and then day one sophomore year I started, and haven't really looked back. And senior year came around and kind of exploded onto the scene with everyone else starting to recognize my play. Was an AP All-American senior year, and something I could be proud of my time there.
Cool. So, I mean, I was looking at your stats, which are pretty awesome there at Lehigh. I mean, you ended up with near 300 tackles, 296 career tackles there. Like you said, FCS All-American. You were an All-Conference player there as well. 2019 was just really just took you to a different level of exposure. I mean, you had what was it, the Buck Buchanan Award, like kind of watch list. You're one of the like semifinals there for that award, and just put up some great numbers: 118 tackles, 17 and a half for loss, 12 sacks, which is I think it's just great. So looking at that statistic there, it's kind of interesting because it's almost the statistics of like an outside linebacker. So tell me a little bit. I mean, what kind of linebacker are you?
I think my game probably fits the best as a middle linebacker. Kind of running the defense, being the quarterback of the defense, making sure everyone's on the same page. And how I just think through the game. Being the Mike linebacker probably just fits me the best. Even though I have played, Sam backer and Will linebacker at Lehigh, I definitely think that Mike backer, kind of fits me the best.
Great. And you were saying a little bit there that you played pretty much the quarterback of the defense, but part of your history is that you played a little bit of quarterback in high school. So having that as part of your experience is kind of nice. Keith, tell me maybe what is the best part about your game, like just as a whole.
I think just my decision-making process, watching film and understanding what our defense is trying to do and what the offense is trying to do, and making sure I know my job and my responsibilities. I think, making those quick decisions and making sure I make the right play, I think is the best part of my game.
Great. And let's talk for a little bit about really what brought you to Buffalo. Obviously, again, we talked about your really great career at Lehigh. Talk to me about like the whole transfer process and really how that was for you.
Yeah. So there's actually a rule in the Patriot League that you can't fifth year at a Patriot League school unless it was a medical hardship, but I never had that medical hardship. I just didn't play my freshman year. So the only way to fifth year was through the transfer process. So I entered my name in the portal, and I was trying to get some feedback from some coaches and seeing where my play would translate to, whether it was a Power Five school, a Group of Five school. So I was trying to group some information together, and then I had schools reaching out to me, and two favorite candidates were Buffalo and then also Liberty. They came and saw me face to face, and I just really thought they were putting the most effort in the recruiting process. So I visited both places, heard what the coaches had to say to me, and they both had great they're both just great places for me to be. But I believe that, Buffalo offered the best for me, whether it was, the history of their great linebackers or, just the opportunity for me to play against some big time competition like Ohio State or Kansas State that was on their schedule this year.
Cool. So, uh, Keith, I realized that when you were at Lehigh, that you were a psychology major.
Mhm.
I think that there was a little bit of marketing in there as well. If you
Yeah,
can
marketing
help.
minor.
Yeah. And there at Buffalo, you had told me that you are pursuing some finance degree, which is
Mhm.
nice. Tell me maybe something else about you that I don't know is just interesting that maybe not everybody knows.
Probably something like that. My dad actually played professionally for a couple of years. He got drafted by the Miami Dolphins in 1982. He was actually in the same draft class as Dan Marino, so they were both rookies coming into the camp for the Dolphins. So that was probably the most interesting fact about me coming in as a football player.
Cool. I think that was 83, but we're
Yeah,
good.
close,
um,
close.
hey, I mean, it's not your job to know every little detail about your dad. So, but I do think it's kind of nice because when you have that history, there is somewhat of a bloodline. What position did he play?
He was, I think he was a Mike linebacker as well.
Cool. Well, that's interesting to keep that Woetzel name, just going. So
Yeah.
that's kind of neat. Um, Tell me maybe about just some of the people that have helped mold and shaped you over the years. Tell me something about one of your coaches that have really just impressed you. That you know really have a high regard for.
I think I had two coaches that really impressed me and, had a huge impact on me. One was my high school head coach was Drew Gibbs. He runs a great program and just the way he could teach young men football and, how to approach the game, I think set me up greatly for my college career and, how I play the game now. And he still has a huge impact on me now. And the second coach was actually my defensive coordinator at Lehigh, Mike Sherba. He just, when he came in his junior year, he just had a great impact on, his knowledge of the game and how he approached everything preparation wise. You know, whether it was teaching me the X's and O's, giving me the great tips that he had, or, when I was struggling as an individual off the field, he was always some guy that I could go to and get some advice on life for. And he was always just there, actually trying to help me as a person. I was just will always hold that, in high regard for him, and he'll always have a great impression on me.
Cool. And can you, I don't know, maybe give me one good teammate that has really impressed you over the years? Obviously, you haven't really been at Buffalo for too long, but could you maybe perhaps just give a shout out to one of your teammates that has just really impressed you over the years as well?
Yeah, probably a lot of people don't know this guy, but Nate Norris, he hasn't played almost at all at Lehigh just because of his injuries over the years. He's had, an ACL surgery and then two hip surgeries that have held him out for pretty much his whole career, which is very unfortunate. But for him, he was always, the guy to attack everything 100%, give it his all. And, he's always just, has a smile on his face and, trying to like never get anything, let him get down. So for him, it was just great for him to show other people that he wasn't going to be stopped. And, it's something that everyone can learn from, that, life is hard, but you should never get down on yourself.
Cool. So next question I have for you, Keith, is just give me your why. Why do you play football?
I think I have a couple whys, but one is definitely, family oriented, the way it brings my family together. After every game, I can see them and, embrace my family and, talk about the game with my dad and just to see how it brings my family together for a common cause to watch me what I do, I think is one of my favorite parts about football. And I think the other reason is probably hold on, I'm sorry, I'm blanking out for a second, but probably because in life it's so hard for you to do something special that you're very passionate about. And I think with football, it gives me that opportunity to do something special, whether it's, being a part of something greater than you are, being part of that team aspect, or, trying to have that pursuit of being, an NFL athlete, a professional athlete that so few people have that honor of, having. And, it's just that motivation of doing something special in life, keeps me motivated.
Gotcha. And before we go, I want to give you one last opportunity to just give a pitch to a professional team as to why they should give you the opportunity. Like why, for example, should they draft you, sign you, bring you in? What do you bring as a teammate?
I think my pitch would be at any level I've succeeded at, whatever any obstacle has been in my way, I've gotten through. In high school, people thought I couldn't play quarterback, but at end of senior year, I was an all-state quarterback. And then people think I couldn't play college football at a high level. FCS, I've had coaches tell me I wasn't a Division I player. And, I ended up being a Division FCS All-American. And now I have the opportunity to show people that I can play on the FBS level at Buffalo. And, until someone says that I'm not good enough, or I run into a roadblock where, I understand that other people are better than me, then I'll stop. But I haven't run into that yet. And I think, I'll keep improving. And I think that's what I bring as a teammate to an NFL locker room.
Great. Well, it's been good actually chatting with you, Keith, just about you as an athlete and a person. I do believe that you've got a lot of potential at the FBS level and the pro level if people obviously give you the opportunity. Again, you had a great career at Lehigh. We do expect great things for you there at Buffalo. I mean, you've already talked about how Buffalo has had just really just a farm system for linebackers. Just going to the NFL, and hopefully they'll be able to really impress you and push you forward to those ranks. So, Keith, I do wish you best of luck. It's been nice talking with you, and just best of luck to you moving forward.
Yep. Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it, Jimmy.